We must now realize the promise of America by trusting God, unifying our vision, and building our future. I am running for President of the United States. U.S. flag emoji. Hashtag 2020 vision. 5:38 p.m. July 4th, baby. Independence Day, bitch. Independence Day. Independence Day. That's right. July 4th, everyone. Elon Musk replies, you have my full support. 1.2 million likes. 530k retweets. 348k likes. Look, we're not counting the numbers here, but the numbers are impressive. Look, the point is, guys, Kanye is going to save America. Here's how. Here's how. I'm going to make a bold statement here. I'm going to make a very bold statement here. And some of you aren't going to like it. Some of you are not going to like it. Biden is not fit to be president. And whatever his cabinet or his group or his... I don't know what's going on with him. That is subversion of democracy. In other words, he's not going to be a president. It's just going to be his cabinet. So he's not even going to be a president. It's going to be his running mate and his cabinet, which is going to be all the establishment, corporate, fucking horrible politicians. That's not to say, by the way, that Trump does not have a cabinet full of corporate establishment, horrible politicians. Because he does. He does. But you have to admit, Trump is anti-establishment, or at least is not a part of the establishment, or at least the establishment doesn't like him or is working against him somewhat. Not fully. I'm not here as a Trump supporter, because I'm not a Trump supporter. But the thing is, Joe Biden is like not even cognizant, and he stands for nothing. He has no, like, Joe Biden is like not even a real person. He's an animatronic they're propping up to speak like a human, and it's malfunctioning half the time because fucking Elon Musk hasn't made the brain net thing yet. You know, the Neuralink.
Look, here's the deal.
And I'm not gonna vote for lesser of two evils. I'm not gonna vote for fucking party lines. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I am in America. I'm an American citizen. I'm going to vote for what I want. That's America. I don't like Joe Biden. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't like him. It's not even personal. I just don't think he has mental ability. Like, maybe it's not even his fault. Even though he has a career full of lies and deceit and deception and fraud, all documented. But Trump isn't exactly an angel either. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Yeah, the media rags on him a lot, and I don't like the media, but Trump also isn't like exactly an outstanding character or like a great leader or like a super... I don't know. I don't think he's very... I think he's just a businessman, if I'm being honest with you. And businessmen are corruptible. Fantano made a video about it. Let's watch Fantano's video. I haven't seen it yet.
Don't take it seriously. And
don't take it seriously. I'm Anthony Fantano, the internet's busiest music nerd. And today, we're going to be talking about Kanye West run for president.
Here is why. As far as I know, he has no campaign team, no campaign offices. It has also been reported he hasn't even filed paperwork with the FEC to run yet. And as far as I can see, he's...
Oh my God. Of course, Fantano's like, but he hasn't even done paperwork. Dude, who cares? Obviously, he can do all that.
pretty inconsistent on what one would call the issues. For sure, in the past, Kanye has had very strong opinions on issues of racism. He has appeared at the recent Black Lives Matter protests and has donated to George Floyd's family. He has spoken pretty in-depth on issues of black struggle in his music, but when we move beyond that, he has also said that slavery is a choice. There was that whole point in time where he was just nonstop sucking up.
The way I view it is that Kanye, unlike a lot of these other, you could say leftist or whatever you want to call it, social justice types, is that he actually sees the bigger picture for what it is. He doesn't just see it as one side versus this side. He sees it as the ultimate goal of coming together and helping people in general, not just black people, not just white people, not just political people. That's what Kanye views things as, you know. But as a black person, I'm sure he has a special soft spot for the African American community and just Africans in general. You know, he's someone who actually has gone to Africa multiple times, who has done a lot of work with charities, has done a lot of work with certain groups and stuff to help what I would call oppressed minorities, you know. But it's not done in a pandering way, and it's not done in a fake way. And his comment right here that Fantano just said about Kanye said slavery was a choice, that's actually not true. I mean, he did say those words, but it's completely out of context because he was talking about slavery as a state of mind, which is what I think about all the time. So independently of Kanye's conclusion that people live in a mental state of slavery, I have had similar lines of thought. I know other people who have as well. Point is, it's not a new thought. It's not a super crazy thought. It's just, I mean, you see it all around. People have opinions that are assigned to them. People believe in everything, you know, the media is telling them, or a political party is telling them, or an ideology, or a religion. You know, religion too can be oppressive, for sure. Just anything that's dogmatic, you know, and happens to have flaws in it, which every ideology does. Tribalism, you know, racial superiority, these kinds of very narrow views of the world, I would say, is mental slavery. And that is a choice. And he's totally right. That's the way I'm...
Donald Trump, one of the people he would be running against, which if he were to seriously run, like, how could Trump not use that against him? Kanye has also said some kind of iffy stuff on abortion rights repeatedly.
I mean, so to his point about how could Trump not use Kanye's support for Trump in the past against him, I would say to that, Trump supported a lot of people. I mean, that's just a political game. Trump supported a lot of people who, I think, didn't he support Hillary at one point, or wasn't he at like Hillary's some Clinton event? I mean, I'm not saying, I don't know if he had the best relation with them, but he kind of was open and honest with it. Trump was like, yeah, I did fund your guys' things, and now I'm running against you. Something like that, right? Like, it wasn't even a secret.
And repeatedly in the public eye, he has shown bad judgment. And in his own music, he tells you there is no calm, yay. And honestly, when you're doing things like, I don't know, negotiating a peace deal between Israel and Palestine, I feel like you would want a calm yay. Anyone who is seriously considering voting for Kanye West should ask themselves this question, and that is, do you trust him to act in the best interest of the country?
Yes.
No, I don't.
Yes, I do. Why wouldn't I? Do you trust Joe Biden to act in the best interests of the country? Do you realize these politicians are lifelong, corruptible, corporate-funded shills who stand for fucking nothing and their record shows it? What? I mean, I trust Kanye over Biden. I trust him over Trump. I trust him over, like, Pete Buttigieg. I mean, who are we comparing him to? What do you think has led to the situation where Kanye can say he's running for president and get 1.1 million likes and a ton of, like, legitimate support? I mean, you have to think that our political environment is somewhat informed by our history, right? Who is politics serving right now? If it's just serving the people and it's all good, well, we wouldn't have any issues. I don't think we would. You know, clearly there's some disconnect between corporate or government interests and what people want. And I'm not even just saying Republicans or Democrats. This goes beyond that. I'm talking about what do average, everyday, working class, middle class people, because at a certain level, whether you're white or you're black or you're Mexican or you're Asian, when you're in a certain, especially a lifestyle, but let's also say economic bracket, you have a lot more in common with other people, whether they're Republican or not, than you do with the politicians and with these massive corporations. And yet they're the ones in power, right? Like, and I'm not trying to say that's only a classist divide in America, but what I'm trying to say is people have more in common than they don't, and their interests are not being met. You know, how many people are for foreign wars? Most people are not, and yet we're still occupying those places.
For sure, him and Kim do have money, but not enough money collectively to buy an entire election. At least not without entering office without having seriously diminished their wealth and the wealth of the Kardashian clan. Kanye and Kim are going to be needing to borrow from Kendall a little bit to buy into some like insane advertisement runs on all the major media networks. Just for perspective here, Michael Bloomberg, who you may have saw running in the Democratic primary earlier in the year, spent millions.
Do you think a lack of funding was a point against Fantano's support of Bernie? Do you think Fantano would ever stop supporting someone because of a seeming lack of funding? Do you think he'd ever be like, guys, Bernie can't win, he doesn't have the funding? Or do you think he'd be like, guys, Bernie can win if he just gets enough funding from people. This can work. It's grassroots. Like, it's just a matter of perspective. That's all it is. So he's just giving descriptive claims to something that ultimately it shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't matter. And I know money does matter, but is the point to vote for corporate interests or whatever gets the most funding or whatever is supposedly feasible, or is it voting for what you want to happen? I believe democracy is voting for what you want and what you believe in. Otherwise, why the fuck are you voting? If I'm not voting for someone I believe in or something I believe in, I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to vote. And I don't feel any responsibility to vote for something I don't believe in. I don't believe in Joe Biden. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't believe in him. I'm not even sorry, actually. I'm not sorry at all. I don't even remotely believe in him.
Millions and millions of dollars, well over $500 million, only to basically win nothing in the primary states, and
doesn't that just disprove his point?
Beaten to death rhetorically on the debate stage. And then there is the debate stage, which, can you imagine Kanye on the debate stage? The man.
Wait, didn't he just disprove his own point by saying that Bloomberg, who spent the most money, got the least amount of votes and got embarrassed on the debate stage? So then why is he even referencing money as an obstacle anyways, if he just admitted that money did not help Bloomberg, who spent the most? Or did he not spend the most? Am I wrong? Or was it just the most of his own personal? I thought he spent the most and he did the worst, which kind of flies in the face of everything Fantano is saying right here.
Barely hold his own in just a simple interview. How will he do on the debate stage?
I mean, okay, again, Fantano, this is not happening in a vacuum. Have you seen Trump talk? Have you seen Biden talk? Out of Trump and Biden, I think Kanye would probably make the most sense on a debate stage. Do you think Joe Biden can even string together a coherent fucking sentence at this point? Let alone, like, hold his own in a debate? I haven't heard Joe Biden say anything even remotely thought-provoking once.
All men and women created by go. You know the thing.
Not well, most likely. It will be a shit show. The debates are going to be a shit show, even just with Trump and Biden. But if Kanye were in the mix, would he be the voice of reason? Would he be the guy making the salient points?
Yes.
Most likely, no. So if
What? Would the billionaire African American who can look past race and party lines, be the voice of reason amongst a corporate Democratic dementia patient and Donald Trump? Kanye
does run again and continues to assert that he is running, all I think he's going to end up doing is just splitting the vote. And for who, I don't know, but I think that this upcoming election is too important to risk it, or even, I think, humor the idea. Like, yeah, it's kind of funny and it's silly and it's a meme and there's no possible way that he can win, but I don't know. It's just seems like a meme, which, I mean, I love memes and I love politics, but I don't know if I want to vote for a meme. And yeah, the whole X factor.
Okay, well, you're going to have to choose between memes anyways. You're going to have to choose between the Biden meme and the Trump meme. And I'm saying I'd rather choose the Kanye meme if I can. So I think my logic is pretty sound there. I mean, like, even if we were to say all of Fantano's criticisms were totally legitimate complaints, which, if you're being very charitable, maybe you could say. I totally think all of them are pretty bad complaints. But let's just say that you are. Okay, if you're going to be that critical of him, you have to be equally critical of the other options. And what are the other options? Donald Trump, who is already incredibly divisive, and pretty much everyone's already made up their mind about Trump, more or less. And Joe Biden. I mean, have you seen Joe Biden? Let's just why don't we just watch a Joe Biden? They're probably not even going to like have the ones where he's totally speaking incoherently on YouTube, because they just put all the news clips first. Like, here's the Joe Biden official.
But this standard is not a measure of how we can evaluate the condition of our society. It cannot measure the health of our children, the quality of our education, the joy of their play.
Yet the gross national product does not allow for the health of our children, the quality of their education, or the joy of their play.
Let us pledge that our generation of Americans will pay any price, bear any burden, accept any challenge, and meet any hardship to secure the blessings of prosperity and the promise of opportunity.
Dude, imagine looking
for
this
our
old
children.
in 87.
We shall pay any price,
I wasn't even born in 87.
bear any burden, meet any hardship,
Oh my god.
support any friend,
Holy shit.
oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of liberty.
And I started thinking as I was coming over here,
He
why
couldn't even make up his own sentences in 87.
is it that Joe Biden is the first in his family ever to go to a university?
Why am I the first Kinnick in 1,000 generations
Well, to be fair, that's
to be
a
able to get
common.
the university?
I feel like that's a common.
Why is it that my wife, who's sitting out there in the audience, is the first in her family to ever go to college?
Why is Glenys the first woman in her family in 1,000 generations
Okay, I'm
to
gonna
be
read
able to get
donations
the
in a second.
university?
No, it's not because they weren't as smart. It's not because they didn't work as hard. It's because they didn't have a platform upon which to stand.
Does anybody really think that they didn't get what we had?
Anyways, I think you get the idea with this. You could look this up for yourself, but the point is he did a lot of plagiarism. He doesn't stand for anything, and he can barely string together sentences.